Murph and Andy on a Monday, and the sports are already off and running. Iowa just about a minute away from putting it on Nebraska in women's basketball, up 20 points late in the fourth. That's a President's Day game.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that don't have anything going on today. They have the day off, so they got some basketball.
It's a beautiful day out there. It's just so nice out. I think it's the second straight Monday that Monday has looked like maybe the most attractive day of the week, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, it's improving Monday's reputation very quickly if this continues, which I don't think it's actually supposed to continue. So live it up today and tomorrow, and then remember that it is still technically February. Although I mean we've been on a little run here in February. We've gone through quite a bit of this month without having the typical February weather.
I was doing some President's Day research today too, just seeing the various rankings, and boy, Lincoln is almost unanimously number one. I mean, you might be able to find some alt list or some politically biased list in some way, but the scholars, the experts on presidential history, it's Lincoln, and it's always Lincoln.
Yeah, it's Lincoln and Washington and FDR, and
those are usually the top three.
We usually have those in the top three, and always basically. Well, and so it only makes sense that you had Lincoln's birthday, which I think is February 12th, and you combine that with February 22nd, which is Washington's birthday, and you get President's Day, which is not celebrated in all states, but it is a federal holiday.
It is a federal holiday, and Lincoln in the checks of these lists: preservation of nation, expansion of liberty, crisis leadership, and moral vision. Those are pretty strong recommendations. Those are pretty strong characteristics for a man killed in his
died in office. Yeah, helps too, I think. But yeah, there's no doubt that was. I don't know that there was a more difficult position than any American president was ever in, with the Union breaking apart.
We have a lot to talk about, so let's get to it.
Get ready. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Plus special guests, Spin Doctors. September 10th, Lordson Amphitheater at Waterworks Park. Blues Traveler, Jen Blossoms. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms, presented by the Willis Summer Series.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Monday sports and more, table setter from Guesthouse Tavern and Oyster. Here we go. Coming up on the show: Rock drop Jayhawk, Hawks lay egg, and Tang fires himself. Guesthouse Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines has nightly specials, including Kentucky Fried Tuesdays. But right now it's high or low since our last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Tim Hawkins runs that place up there in Ankeny, Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. Tim says this is a good time of the year to evaluate fees inside of your 401k. Some investments can have significantly higher fees. Wealth Charter can evaluate your company plan and make sure you aren't paying too much in those 401k fees. I'm going to go high today. This is a Monday, and it feels great. It's not hard getting going for the working week, even though I guess mine technically started yesterday. And it was a really great weekend too. I mean, it was a springish weekend. I cooked outside on Friday on my new Uni pizza oven, which I got for my
Yeah, you
birthday
did.
after liking my nephews so much. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, I don't have the patio furniture out or my grills out or anything right now, but this little pizza oven's kind of nice. I just carry it out from the garage and set it up on the deck and get it all fired up, and it gets like 800 degrees in there, and the pizza's cooked in just a few minutes, so we could have like 6 balls of dough and everybody can make their own individual pizza, and it's great. I mean, it cooked really, really well. It was nice being outside.
I have a high too, and it's kind of the entire weekend just because it felt like spring out. I mean, it was nice to see people biking and walking and golfing. I can't even believe the amount of shirtless people jogging I saw, shirtless with shorts on. And then yesterday, I'm settling in to watch some of the Daytona 500, and our friends, our mutual friends, Samantha and Chris said, "Hey, we're in the neighborhood. You want to come down and meet us on a patio?" So I went and sat in a patio. I wore a sweatshirt down there, had to take it off, and just be in a T-shirt in mid-February in Iowa. That really feels good. And that just the sun felt good. So I think everybody has a little bit of a boost going into this week.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's been fantastic. So many people out and about. The kids are one of them anyway is outside right now, playing around. The other one's not.
And if you want that winter feel, you just watch the Olympics, because Italy's providing all of that with snow and snowboarding and skiing, and none of it's fake or manufactured. And so we kind of had a week of best of both worlds.
You get a little worried, though, that we're going to get spoiled on this, and then we're going to get checked down. We will be back in the 20s and 30s by the end of the week.
For the Drake relays, for sure.
yeah, right. And that's still a few months away. So and then we're going to be like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean this kind of weather? Oh, yeah, it's February. It's supposed to do this kind of stuff. But whatever, we're still passing the time.
Let's catch the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Oh, yeah, Logier Heating and Cooling with solutions for Des Moines area families well beyond Des Moines for more than a century, 120 years, in fact. All right, so it's 1 down, 1 to go for Iowa State. One of our throwdowns questions Friday was, what do you think Iowa State will do in this top 10 gauntlet of home games here, where in 72 hours the Cyclones played red hot number 9 Kansas, and now tonight we'll play number 2 Houston. But the first step was really a big one, and it wasn't close. I mean, this is a Kansas team that had beaten Iowa State in Lawrence by 21 points, and that game was over by halftime. And Kansas hasn't lost since then, or hadn't lost since then. So you could see where you knew if Iowa State came into this game and played mediocre or didn't have its A game, or if the crowd wasn't into it like it usually is for a Kansas game, this could be a dangerous home spot for a team undefeated at home. And Iowa State just blew the Jayhawks out of the arena.
I was really impressed with this game. I think when we were making our picks on Friday about what we thought Iowa State might do over the next 2 games, we were both like, well, could you ask us again like 5 minutes into the Kansas game and let us answer them? Because you're a little worried that if they come out really flat against a red hot team, then not only are they going to lose the game against Kansas, but they're going to lose the game against Houston too. But they didn't. I mean, they came out. It was a battle at first, lead changing hands, huge crowd. The crowd's loud. You can tell that they're into it. Lead's kind of changing hands. It's close, and then Iowa State finds its footing in the first half. Starts hitting shots, starts cranking up the intensity on defense, goes into halftime with a comfortable lead. And then, I think everybody's a little worried. Okay, second half, let's not let up. Let's see if we can keep it up.
Right.
And then they totally did that. And then they really started shooting the lights out. So I think you got everything that you wanted to see if you were a Cyclone fan from this game. You saw them have to battle a little bit, but then find their shooting touch, really crank up the defense and feed off of the successes that they were having on defense, consecutive possessions where defense dominated. and then a really strong finish, crowd way into it. I think everybody feels 100% better after that game on Saturday. Now you love you love the chances going into the Houston game.
If you look at that Iowa State team, that's the Iowa State team with Final Four and championship potential. And I know some rival fans will say, well, yeah, that game was at Hilton Coliseum. Let's see them do that on the road or on a neutral court. Well, how did Purdue look against Iowa? Iowa State went to Mackey Arena and beat the snot out of the Boilermakers by like 23 points, and it felt like 43. So when this team is at its best and turning the other team over, playing that pesky, irritating defense that frustrates another team, you could see the Jayhawks just frustrated how hard they had to work to get an open shot. They don't usually have to do that because they're so athletic, and they're more athletic than Iowa State. But that was like Iowa State at its best. And now you go into Houston, and here's Kelvin Sampson with a quick comment on playing at Iowa State.
I mean, you guys ever been to Hilton Coliseum? I've been there about 10 times. It's hard to win there. They're really good.
They are really good, and it is hard to win there, and they're favored, I think, by a couple of points tonight, Iowa State is. The students are dozens of tents up there surrounding the arena. This is it's a big game. It's a big Monday game. It'll tip shortly after 8.
Yeah, really big game, but still riding a high off the Kansas game. If they shoot like they did on Saturday, they're going to win this game. I don't think there's any question. They shot the ball with such confidence. Momcilovic he was just unconscious at certain parts of that game.
That corner three was incredible.
Oh, yeah. And everybody's like, no, don't. He's off balance, fading to the side, just a really rough-looking shot, goes right in. And then afterwards, T.J. Otzelberger is talking about how he just doesn't bother telling Momcilovic when and when not to shoot. I mean, if he's feeling it, then he wants him to shoot, and he was. And that's a really good sign. I mean, he's just done that. He's been consistently such a great shooter this year. But, this would be, Saturday was great. It was a huge win. That was as big as it was going to get. But to add on to that one with another one tonight would really make a statement and put this team back in great standing.
It's a number 2 at number 6 game. The new AP poll is out. Iowa State does move back up to number 6. So it's not a top 5 matchup, just misses on the AP poll. But Houston does move up. Michigan's the new number 1 team in the country. So Houston is number 2. So this is a big opportunity for Iowa State to build up some more of where they could land in the NCAA tournament on that seed line. So Iowa plays Iowa. Let's move over to Iowa now. Let's go over to Iowa City on that big Saturday we had. Iowa plays to a sold-out crowd. Andrew Downs, Murph and Andy show producer, he was in the crowd. And the Hawks just laid an egg. I mean, they did. Most of that is just the mismatch of this game. Mm-hmm. I mean, Purdue is bigger, longer, more experienced. This looked like they could play. I know they played at Purdue, and Iowa actually looked better away than at home. But this is kind of a reality check game for the ceiling of this team. I think Iowa will get to the NCAA tournament, but depending on the matchups, the exit could come at any time because there's just some teams Iowa is just not equipped to keep up with. And over the Big Ten grind, this isn't like trying to randomly beat one Big Ten team. They just keep coming. And some of the weaknesses of the team are clearly exposed in a game like this. That was frustrating for the fans.
Well, I thought they were going to win this game. I really did going in. But then you're reminded just really early on that this is a bad matchup for them. This is the wrong-shaped team for them to really realistically compete with. And then when you shoot the way that they did in this game, you're not going to even give yourself a chance. So it shouldn't be surprising. I'm surprised that I was so confident going into this game. But Purdue has just been a kind of an inconsistent team this year, right? I mean, so it looked like maybe they would be susceptible to a good coaching plan on a way building. So I thought maybe Iowa had a shot in here, and they just didn't give themselves one.
No, and I think it's really unfortunate for what Ben McCullum and Beth Getz and others at Iowa are trying so hard to do, which is to win the fans back to men's basketball. They certainly have them for women's basketball, but they get that sold-out crowd, and the crowd is just ready to have fun and scream and yell, and they're just never really in it. I mean, Andrew, you were in the crowd, so what was that like from the start of the game, and was there ever a time that the fans were fully engaged?
Mike's not on. Can you hear him?
Oh yeah, sorry.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I have to mute. I got the kids today.
Okay. You're being considerate. Thank you.
I'm wearing several hats right now. Yeah, at the start of the game, it was as good of an atmosphere as you could hope for, and I mean, really throughout, even into like the start of the second half, everybody was waiting. You know, I mean, everybody was there, everybody was ready, but no, there was never a time where you could like really let loose. There wasn't a big three or a big stop, or there were several times though, like where Iowa, even down like 10, would score a basket, and then everybody would get on their feet for the defensive possession, but then, you know, Purdue would get an easy layup and everybody would sit back down or go get a beer or a Carver cone. And so people started leaving at about the under 8 timeout. That's when like the real exodus started happening in the second half. And so, yeah, it was disappointing because it was all right there. And the team just never really showed up.
And we'll find out what it means, I guess, tomorrow night. Like, does this hurt the Nebraska crowd? Now I think it's an 8 p.m. game, right?
Yeah,
against Nebraska.
Is. Yep.
That's a later tip. These are done for television, of course. But Nebraska's a rival, and Fred Hoiberg's the coach, and it's a good team. So you would think that would be a full house, but I don't think it will be. I don't know how short of a full house it will come. It'll be interesting to see.
Also,
I think
you're not expecting a win probably in that game. Nebraska's a good team, and I think Price Sanford is a pretty good chance tomorrow night. He sets the Nebraska single-season record for three-pointers. That's going to sting for Hawkeye fans.
But it is a much better matchup for Iowa than Purdue. That just is a mismatch. Yes. I like Iowa's chances against Nebraska better than I did for Purdue. But McCullum, I thought, was good in the postgame. He said, no, I'm not embarrassed. I mean, we tried. We just, sometimes the other team is better. And he's right about all of that. And then he reminded everybody that, they turned the team over. This is a new team. But you know what makes that a difficult sell? Well, Ben McCullum, partly because of what he did at Drake last year. And I think even though they're not the same sport, Kurt Cignetti has made everybody who's building a one-man roster realize that it can be done that first year. I mean, TJ Otzelberger took his team to the Sweet 16 after a 2-22 Big 12 season. I think, 0-20, 0-19 Big 12 season, 2-22 overall, because it was coming out of COVID, so the season was shorter. So it can be done, and it's probably not realistic to expect it to go much better than this, but I understand why people started to really believe, hey, this might be, Sweet 16 run this year.
Well, and I mean, not only did he do it last year at Drake, I mean, we've seen some signs this year that things were coming along faster than anybody dared expect, and it got your hopes up. But I mean, I don't think there is a single game this year where somebody can, I mean, in the Big Ten, really, that somebody can point to and say that's inexcusable. Because it is his first year. He did totally turn over the roster. Almost all of these players are not accustomed to the Big Ten, and that is an excuse. I mean, it is. So, I mean, I think everybody is – they're still realistic about this team. If they pull up lame and completely miss the tournament, I think people will be disappointed. But I think even then, you still say, okay, yeah, but it was we're disappointed, and it was his first year. But I think they'll make the tournament. So, and as long as they do make the tournament, all he's got to do is win one game, and he's right there in the comparisons with every coach since Tom Davis at Iowa.
I think they'll make the tournament too, but I do think they lose to Nebraska tomorrow night, and they're sliding onto that bubble. AD,
And they've got
let's get
kind of
a
an iffy schedule coming up too, right? I mean, there's some tough games in there.
And their best win is at Indiana.
Right.
Will the Iowa men make the NCAA basketball tournament? I still think yes. Was a yes, but now I'm a no, or I've always been a no.
I still think yes.
Well, they're right in the middle of the Big Ten, and there's some winnable games ahead of them. I think they're going to win.
They also have some opportunities to grab another, quad one win, another ranked win. If you get one of these against Nebraska, you're probably not beating Michigan, but a big game at Wisconsin. They're gonna notch a few more wins. Again, the perspective is always hard to kind of grab onto during the season, but I mean, they just won 6 straight games, and they didn't beat anybody great in those games, but that's the first time in 10 years Iowa's done that, and so it's settle down a little bit if you're hitting the panic button.
It is. They've already surpassed last year's win total, so that should be noted too. Kansas State fires Jerome Tang. This is especially interesting to us because we just had this discussion about Tang, and last week I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Kansas State attorneys are just going through his contract, looking to see if there might be some way to fire him for cause because they don't want to pay the $19 million. I was mostly joking, but they have fired him for cause, and they say it's this press conference is the reason.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Like everything this university is about and all that it's been about. Why I love this place, man. Like they don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here.
That's bad leadership, and that's not the message your coach should send. But, Andy, this is not cause. You can't negate his contract because he trashed his professional players in public for not playing hard enough. This is the beginning of a negotiation. Kansas State knows they can't fire him for cause.
No, they're trying to get a deal, some sort of settlement where they don't have to pay him the entire buyout, just, part of it, like any savings at all. Provided it doesn't drag out real long and run up the lawyer's tabs. Any settlement at all is better than what they were dealing with. And I just think it was really clear that this is not working there. This is not working. He's not popular with the fans. He doesn't seem like he's popular with the players. I can't imagine he made any friends with that press conference. And, I mean, what are you going to sit there 2-3 more years, just letting the buyout shrink down to a palatable level and then fire him? And this is not going to turn around there. So I am sure that the Kansas State attorneys got a whole lot of help from other attorneys who are within the K-State fan base offering their services pro bono to pour over that contract and see if they had some reason to believe that they could at least get a settlement. But yeah, you're right. This is nobody's definition of, causation.
They're saying he brought embarrassment to
himself.
Yeah, this is not cause. It's bad leadership, and it was not a smart way to go. But it's the beginning of a negotiation. UNI retires A.J. Green's jersey. Should be noted, not his number. You can still wear the number 4. But the jersey is retired, and here's Green on being the first Panther. So honored.
Yeah, this place is just home. It's hard to leave a place like Cedar Falls, a place like UNI. With the people, the culture, the tradition, the 4 years here, I miss it. I miss it dearly.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will direct your attention to the rafters for the unveiling of the A.J. Green jersey retirement banner.
That'd be pretty cool to be the only one up there, which he is. Andy, you want to just leave it there, or should we mention the game?
I don't have a whole lot to add about the game. It's another disappointing effort by Drake. Not a good looking game, but I feel like we need another word than retire. If you're not going to retire the number, like retiring the number means retiring the jersey means like the number on the jersey doesn't get worn again. I mean, we
Yeah,
know
in
the
this
physical
case-
jersey isn't going to get worn again. Nobody's getting that specific.
Yeah. Can I take that down and wear it at the game today?
No,
that's
it's retired. That's why we
can't
did
do
it. We knew somebody was going to ask.
Yeah, no, it's up there for a reason.
Like honoring his jersey or hanging his jersey or something like that. I mean, it is a cool honor. It's odd that he's the first one because I don't think of him to be the best UNI Panther that I've ever seen. He was very good.
There's no doubt the NBA success helps. I mean, we know how
no
this
question.
helps.
Yeah, and you want that kind
Look
of
what it's
connection.
doing for Brock Purdy. I mean, no one thought Brock Purdy was going to be this level of NFL star, and that's great for Iowa State.
Yeah, no doubt. And I, I mean, you understand the motive here. It just seems like if I'm, some of those players from the really good McDermott and early on Ben teams that I'd be like, what about the dudes from our team?
Yeah, they had some
Cajo
really good teams.
Yeah, Grant Stout and those guys.
So UNI beats Drake by 24 points, and that is the Bulldogs' sixth straight loss. They're in a real slide here, and Jalen Quinn, their star player, he's averaging 19 or 20 points a game for Drake. He was not starting in this game. There's some kind of message sent there. Coach Henderson was asked about it after the game. He didn't give any specifics. He answered it politely. Clearly, it's meant to stay in-house, whatever the reason was for that. But I think Quinn checked in with 4 minutes into the game, but that's not why Drake lost. UNI won by 24.
Just on the slide. Yeah, they're just not playing well.
Things aren't going well. Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence, where you can always find a draft beer that you will love, and you don't have to be at Confluence to find it. You really can find it on tap most anywhere. I think just about every bar in central Iowa, maybe beyond.
You find a good selection of tall boys at all the liquor stores. I was over at our little neighborhood liquor store the other day, and they had 6 or 8 different types. It's great. And Confluence has a patio right now that I'm sure is busy today.
Yeah.
People on their bikes
Yeah.
riding by.
People are golfing, biking,
Yes, they are
walking.
golfing.
It's a good day to be a dog. Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500 in dramatic fashion. This last couple of laps was wild. The in-car Tyler Reddick camera from in his car of his final 2 laps is a fun watch. But he only led the final lap. But if you're going to pick one of 200, that's the one you want. And in winning the Daytona 500, the biggest race in NASCAR by far, he is upstaged by his owner. I think Michael Jordan winning this championship got more attention than Tyler Reddick. There are probably people that could look at this photo and not even know who Tyler Reddick is, but you can't help but see Michael Jordan this excited. I mean, he was thrilled. Andy said it means as much as his 6 NBA championships.
Well, he probably had 150 G's riding on the race, didn't he? I don't even know which one Tyler Reddick is. The one right next to Jordan or the next guy over? Which one is it?
Next to.
The
Looks
short
like
guy in the middle?
the guy that looks like Brent Bloom after the Kansas game.
Kind of looks like Old Spice, doesn't he? Of the Sound Off crew. Looks like Chad.
Now, which guy? The guy with the hand on the trophy, right?
Yeah.
That's who you're looking
the
at?
guy in the middle.
You think that
can't
looks like
see all
Old
the-
Spice? I think I got more
a
of
little
a
bit.
Brent Bloom vibe, or maybe if Brent Bloom was morphed into Matt Van Winkle.
Yeah.
What do you think, AD?
Yeah, like Grover said, he looks like Van Winkle.
Yeah.
And I think he just looks short because he's next to Jordan.
Yeah,
and
right.
There's I don't
Whoever
think
the
he's
other guy is.
5'6".
Well, you
Jordan-
can't be very tall and sit in those cars. I can tell you that.
Hey, how about the guy on the right? This guy has to be in charge of the money.
The guy in the suit.
Yeah. Who is he? He's got like a perfect haircut.
He's got the suit.
He's just over there. He's politely clapping. He's got this beautiful family around him, or I don't know. Maybe
Either
that's
that or
the
he's
Reddick
the he's the CEO of the sponsor, like whatever the trophy's called. right?
Yep.
It's he's
Yeah,
the CEO of
he's the
Intuit.
boss of the casino or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Yeah.
Chumba Casino.
Yeah. I bet purists probably have a different opinion, but I thought that was a great finish. I love that. Like It's just like goldfish being dumped into a piranha tank there at the end. It's just everybody's just trying to stay alive. A few of those guys are sliding across the finish line on their axles with sparks going all over the place. I mean, those cars are just crashing right and left. And just, man, please don't make me crash. I got 10 feet to go in this damn race. It was
There's
great.
a randomness to it because, he's just able to drive through these crashes and you could see it, and he just is able to keep going. He does make a really nice move on the final lap containing some with both daring and drafting to get to the finish line for his first Daytona 500. But yeah, that place was packed too. I mean, they had a successful day.
Yeah, it's fun when they have 3 or even 4 wide racing at any point in that race, but especially in the final laps. It's so exciting because you never know that. I mean, they could all be driving straight and avoiding each other just enough, and then all of a sudden the guy just takes a right turn straight into the wall.
Yeah, and
he must have blown something out. Then he takes out a bunch of other guys.
They just get tapped, and that they can be lifted so quickly by the aerodynamics, or spun so quickly. But that was good. Jordan does bring a lot of extra attention to that by winning as a team owner, and he was not faking it. The dude was thrilled, and that was fun to see. The NBA All-Star Dunk Contest you probably didn't watch it. It was bad. I mean, it was bad. There just aren't people in it anymore that make it that interesting, and pretty much all the creative dunks, like over a car or whatever you want to try, has been done. Andrew, did you watch this?
We watched. So I didn't watch it live, but yesterday, like YouTube had like a 15-minute version that just had all the dunks and cut out all
That's what I watched.
BS between, and we watched that. My son really wanted to. It wasn't awful, but it just doesn't have the cachet because there's no names in it. I mean, if they did the same dunks, but it was Giannis out there doing it, it would feel
you're probably right.
It would feel a lot bigger.
I might be being too harsh, but like the winning dunk, and it's not fair at this point. We want the guy to like juggle a couple of chainsaws and then slam the ball down. It's got to be otherworldly or some kind of huge gimmick at this point. He rides a unicycle, leaps off and dunks, and it was kind of by this scale, a pedestrian dunk, the winner. Yeah. And there aren't people you realize. I might be being too tough on it, but it seems like it's run its course because they can't get the big names in it.
That's the thing. Unless you can get some stars into that, it just doesn't matter because they can all dunk and they're all big and they're all athletic. And you're right, they've done all the gimmicky things already. So if you're not going to get big name guys in it, you probably just end it.
Because, I mean, it started with a part of the game that you didn't see very often.
Yeah.
This would have been in the probably late 70s, early 80s. I mean, you didn't see dunks very often. And there were a few guys that could really dunk. I mean, the other guys were just putting it down two-handed from right under the basket. And then you would see them in the contest. And then you would have, it got to the point where it's like the biggest stars in the game were in the dunk contest. And then they started to really showboat. But I think they kind of got to the edge of what humans can possibly do. Right? Like there's just not a whole lot else that you can, that is humanly possible with a dunk. And we've hit critical mass there. So like, where do you go from here? This is a contest that is kind of doomed by its own success in the past. It just can't live up to anything anymore. And the players don't want to get hurt doing it. And they don't care about it.
I've had that thought watching snowboarding in these Olympics, and like the half pipe and stuff. Say where can they go with this? They like release the board and just start doing spins, and then they catch the board again on the way down with both hands. I can't
like
believe
figure
how
skating.
fast it's grown.
I mean, like figure skating with guy doing multiple quad twists and flips and stuff, and it's incredible. But then it is still so damn hard. He falls.
Yeah, the pressure got to him a little bit, he said. He said he blew
it. Horrible routine. Poor guy.
I know. He finished 8th. He's the overwhelming favorite. I will I will eat some humble pie. I said this NBA All-Star game, the USA versus World, was not going to work. It won't be any better. The players won't care. I was wrong. It was better. by any reasonable measure, it was better. It was still a little confusing. It was round robin, but you had USA versus the world, and then you had a Stars team and a Stripes team. The Stripes team was kind of the old heads, and the Stars were more the younger players. And Ant-Man was the star of this. He was the MVP. But 3 of the 4 games actually had some competitive fire to them and defense.
Yeah, the first 3 quarters of the thing, because they were basically 4 12-minute games, where, they were a lot of fun. It was too bad that the 4th game was a blowout, and that also the whole thing was billed as USA versus the world, and then in the final game, it's USA versus USA.
Right.
It was a little too confusing. I heard somebody say, if you can't explain the format in like half a sentence, then change the format.
Lost everybody.
And see, it was a little, but I was pleasantly surprised at how fun that was to sit and watch. And then it was in the afternoon too, so it's like I kind of enjoyed having a 4:30 All-Star game.
The NBA does need some simplifying of formats. You look at the playoff when it first begins and who gets to advance in that what essentially is a play-in game. It's kind of confusing to explain that. And then that in-season tournament with the crazy courts, like trying to figure out how that goes and who wins and advances. Yeah, it's a good point. If you have to over-explain it, maybe it's too difficult. Andy brings us more, and that is coming up next on a Murph and Andy Monday.
Sticks. The Hits. May 21st, Lawrence Amphitheater. One night only. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Part of the Willis Summer Concert Series.
With 5 Central Iowa locations, there's always a Heartland Tire and Auto nearby to take care of everything your car needs. From oil changes to complete transmission overhauls, they do it all. For 15 years now, Heartland Tire and Auto has been a proud sponsor of Murph and Andy.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio has been on a run lately. That patio has seen plenty of business, and it is still an excellent destination, even when it does eventually turn back to winter here in Iowa. You'll find them at 6222 Grand Avenue on the edge of Des Moines and West Des Moines. Rest in peace, Robert Duvall. This just in this early afternoon. The acclaimed Oscar-winning actor has passed away at age 95.
95. Wow.
An IMDb that I will put up against anybody's. Active from 1960 all the way up to 2022. So many roles. Unforgettable roles. I mean, he has so many movies that you forget.
Right.
Maybe you weren't even aware of all the movies that he was in.
Like coming up with his Mount Rushmore of movies, well, you start with The Godfathers, but Apocalypse Now, and you're just getting started. I mean, you can go, he's probably been in 20 great movies.
He could carry a movie as the leading actor, or he could own every scene that he was in as a supporting actor, or just make one quick little cameo like he did in Sling Blade and instantly give credence to the whole movie, right? I mean, but he's in Bullet and Shane and MASH and stuff that you don't even you completely forgotten about.
Exactly. He won the Academy Award for Tender Mercies.
Yeah, movie that most people haven't seen.
Mercy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just incredible. And we will talk more about him on Wednesday on Mr. Movie Day as we all pick our favorite Robert Duvall movies, and that is going to be a tough chore for us.
Yeah,
there are so many.
In sports movies too, Andy. In Days of Thunder.
Yeah,
I mean, he makes Harry Hogg like more of a character than he should be in what is basically Top Gun on wheels. He's great in that.
The Natural.
He's really good in The Natural. Is just the
sports writer.
semi-sleazy sports writer that just wants to expose the
Max Mercy.
the dark side. Max Mercy. Yeah, God, what an actor. What a career.
Yeah, just volumes of hits. So amazing. 95 years, though. We got a lot of Robert Duvall. Today is President's Day. Holiday well known for coinciding with deep sales discounts for big ticket items such as appliances, furniture, and especially mattresses.
Yeah, because everyone knows the mattress is important to all presidents.
Yeah, Lincoln and Washington, they were fanatics about those feather beds that they slept in.
Lincoln died on a mattress. I mean, he bled out on a mattress. But I guess this is the way Lebeda honors it.
Yeah, I think Washington was buried on his mattress. This is due to retailers trying to clear their inventories and take advantage of tax season. So it's kind of in that wheelhouse. But I always thought that was funny. Mattress sales on President's Day,
right?
All the time. Every bit as exciting. It's also we're more than halfway through February Day. We've added 35 minutes of daylight since the start of the month. And
it feels like it.
Yeah, you're right. It's staying light longer. And we've had 5 days in which we've topped 60 degrees. Should add another one tomorrow. The Dolphins have released wide receiver Tyreek Hill. They're clearing room. He had an extremely productive run in Miami. He produced 27 touchdowns, 2 All-Pro seasons, 2 Pro Bowls, and 5 kids with 5 different women. All in his time in Miami.
That's just Miami. That's not.
Yeah, that's Miami. You got more than that. Yeah, before that, he was in Kansas City.
The Tyreek Hill Family Foundation. That's not just his family.
For the whole foundation,
right?
Yeah. It's supporting families and making them across the globe. A reminder that Nate Bargatze is coming to Des Moines.
He's funny.
Really funny. Really, really funny.
Community college, a lot of people don't know, is college when they're like, you're probably going to stay in your community. So we're just going to show you the ropes around town. Kind of give you a lay of the land.
You can watch a lot of Nate Bargatze on YouTube and go way back to when he's first starting. And it seems like the thing he's improved the most. I mean, his jokes obviously have gotten better, but just his timing.
Yeah.
The way he doesn't end with the punchline. He always moves on to like the next word. So, and then he, giving the audience a moment of unsilence to process the joke and then laugh.
He's
a pro.
He's another guy, Sebastian Maniscalco being one of many, that when you do go back and look at the early days, it does really go into that reps theory of you just got to put the reps in because you can see the progress as the confidence builds, and they kind of like Maniscalco didn't always do that over the top body language to the extent he does now, but he found it really worked for him. And Bargatze, he does not use any profanity. Like you can take a family to his concert.
Yeah, you can play it for the family in the car. Yeah, we do that. And yeah, he's very self-deprecating. He's always kind of making fun of himself and his family, and he's just really, really good at it. And it's crazy when you go back and you look at the stuff that he did early on. He's in front of these tiny little crowds. And if you imagine how hard it would be if they weren't doing well there. But then now, go ahead.
I read his book, Big Dumb Eyes, and he said like his worst experience was he did stand up. I think it was in a public library, where he was invited to go in there. But he said he has done his routine for one person. Can you imagine doing like there's just one person? And what do you still like scan? you still scan this, the room, or do you just look at that person the whole time? Like, how do you do it for one person? And could you keep your confidence up? I know you've done stand-up, but boy, when you tell a joke and it doesn't land or you don't get the response you were expecting, it's hard to keep going. And when you just have one person there, I can't imagine what that was like, but I'm sure it makes you stronger.
I wonder if he knew that person. I just didn't know. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, yeah, he's gone from that to now playing the biggest arenas in cities. He'll be at the Casey Center coming up. We actually got Nate Bargatze on a Friday.
Nice.
Wow. Friday, April 24th at the Casey Center. Tickets are expensive. They are, but they are still available. And it is cool the way he plays that circular stage in the middle. That kind of broke the mold for comedy, I think. I've been there when Bill Burr was there. He was playing, just one end of the arena, and some of the people are so far away from him.
Right.
It just seems so much better when they can do that circular stage and just sort of walk around and eventually face everybody.
That's what Maniscalco does in the United Center in his new Hulu special.
Which is huge.
It's full. It's sold out. What is that?
20,000. Yeah, over 20. But it's like that's how many it seats. But there are so many luxury boxes in there.
Yeah,
that it actually
floor
is much
seating
bigger.
Floor seating too for that. So you probably have a bigger crowd than you're capable of having for, say, an NBA game because of all those floor seats. And then he just works that whole circle and down. There's also like the side exits in front. Just that does help the crowd feel like they're seeing something live.
Route 66 turns 100 this year.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, that's a little misleading. It was actually decommissioned back in 1985, so it doesn't actually even exist anymore as a highway, but it
Other
doesn't.
than that.
But it's still so celebrated, and it does. I mean, there is a road that goes through many small towns where the interstate doesn't go through, and a lot of stretches it's gone altogether. Other stretches it's just kind of that access outer road going along Interstate 44, basically, which goes all the way out. It goes from Chicago, 44 in parts, 55 in other parts. So Chicago to Santa Monica, California. But as you go through parts of Oklahoma and, even in Texas and New Mexico and Missouri, it is still very much alive, and there's all kinds of businesses, and it's really fun to drive through that and see, parts of America that are really pretty well preserved from what they were like in the 50s and 60s and 70s. It's really, really cool. About 2,500 miles.
I saw that story from Roger Riley on the newscast last week on Route 66. It was like an Iowa guy who had moved there to, open a
Tucumcari, New Mexico he went to, yeah.
Yeah, and the interesting part of that was like, well, what gave you this idea? And he says, I was watching Cars, because that's what I think of now when I think of Route 66. I think of Lightning McQueen and Cars, and stopping at that some point of the highway. I'm sure it reintroduced that whole history to a lot of people.
Yeah, it is something that I strongly recommend. I did that a couple of summers ago where we just did a stretch from St. Louis out to Santa Fe, and it was amazing. I strongly recommend doing that for anybody that you need somebody that you don't mind riding in the car with, right? Somebody that you can have a long conversation with. You don't want it to be with somebody that you can't stand. You'd go nuts because it's not a direct route. Be a long ride. From more contributor Keith on the east side. Let's take a look at this map of the drunkest counties in America. This compiled from numbers from the CDC, the old CDC. Note the way Wisconsin's borders are perfectly defined by this map. You don't have to be like, where's Wisconsin? It's like all the way around
state.
Okay, so just to be clear, the darkest purple is the absolute hammered drunkest.
Just drunk. Yeah.
And the lightest green, your eyes go to Utah. The
you can also see exactly where Utah is on this map.
Yeah, the lightest green is the soberest counties. So, AD, what do you notice as you look at Wisconsin?
Yeah, they're drunk idiots. I've been telling you this for 15 years.
They have got some big purple areas.
It's wild
Man.
how like you can think you drink a lot, and you go to Wisconsin, and it's like they're 4 beers in at breakfast.
They are not. That is
They
such an
are.
exaggeration. It's crazy. I've lived in Wisconsin. I'm there all the time. It doesn't seem that drunk, but the thing that will like jump out at you is how many bars there are.
Yes.
There are I lived in Rhinelander, which has 8,000 people, and there was more than one intersection in town that literally had 4 bars on the intersection, 1 on each corner. 4.
Everybody in Wisconsin is a regular at like 4 different bars.
Where were we
That's an exaggeration.
where were we on RVTV where there's 300 people counting kids? And there were 3 open bars.
Lorville. Yeah,
Let's look at that county on this map.
Iowa's drunkest county. Well, see, I mean, the fun counties are all nice and red on this map here. We got Polk and Story and Dallas and Johnson.
College
and
towns
Scott.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got all Cedar.
Do we not have a purple county?
No, I don't
even a
think
light
so.
purple?
No, you got to cross the border into Wisconsin to find purple. Looks like Montana's got some purple in there. It's crazy how. I mean, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama.
See, but that's all
on
that's
top
all
of everything
BS.
else they have going against them. I mean, those are dry counties that aren't dry.
Exactly.
Right? Isn't that what that is?
They're drinking moonshine. That's not on the government.
Yeah.
The government doesn't know about how much they drink.
Yeah, the government doesn't want to know.
Wisconsin's drunker than Alaska?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's not even close. Look at that. It's not even close. Is there one county in Wisconsin that's not red? There's one over there by Duluth, kind of. Is that one? I can't see well. I think there's one county.
that is there's
not
one.
Red.
Probably has like no bridge access. Or something.
That's the one where 7 people live and 4 of them are 15.
Everybody just lives on the county line on the other side. That's just crazy. The Shamrock Shake returns to McDonald's tomorrow. It'll bear only a slight resemblance to these in the picture. Also,
why is that?
Because they don't look like that when they give them to you. All that stuff is smushed down, lid. They're still pretty good.
I'm a fan.
The Oreo McFlurry, the Oreo Shamrock McFlurry. Because chocolate and mint go together as about as well as any flavors.
So we get about a 1-month run through St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure they carry it well through St. Patrick's Day and let you get that Shamrock Shake. From the bowels of Instagram, we'll finish with this. We bring you this. It's kind of long here, but this is a highly accurate trip down Generation X lane.
In 1974, there were 2 worlds. The upstairs, where the parents drank Harvey Wallbangers and discussed inflation, and the downstairs, the Rumpus room. It wasn't a playroom. It was a holding cell, a subterranean kingdom with its own laws, its own smell, a mix of damp concrete, old comic books, and the burning ozone of a slot car track. Down here, civilization ended. We had no supervision. We had the bar. Every Rumpus room had a bar that no one ever used. It stood there like a shrine to a party that never happened. We used it to store our G.I. Joes and illicit candy cigarettes. But the most dangerous feature was the floor. Beneath this rug lay solid, unforgiving concrete. One wrong move, one missed jump from the sofa, and you were visiting the emergency room. The shag rug was our armor. It was the only soft thing in a world of sharp edges. It absorbed the impact of wrestling matches. It hid the Legos we stepped on. It was the lava when the floor became lava. And the pattern? Designed by geniuses. You could spill an entire pitcher of fruit punch on a 75 Rumpus rug, and it would just disappear into the abyss. We lived down here for hours, days maybe. We emerged only for dinner, blinking in the sunlight, smelling of static electricity and wood glue. It was a lawless time. But we had the paneling to keep us contained, and we had the layers to keep us safe.
That is so accurate.
Yes.
It is. It actually made me kind of nostalgic and sentimental. I mean, that all tracks.
One thing that I forgot that reminded me of, Evan put it out in the comments, the smell of the slot car track.
Yeah.
That's something I probably never would have thought about again. And I saw that video and immediately I can smell it.
The electricity and the plastic mixed together.
Or my never-ending quest to get a Hot Wheels track to stay attached where the car would actually continue to run for any length of time, because it's always coming apart or there's a groove that didn't quite work. I was not good at it. But every day I would start with the thought, like, this is the day I'm going to get this track rolling. Something would always go wrong.
We absolutely had a basement bar that was not used. We absolutely had that.
A holding cell.
It was a wet bar, too. It had a sink in it, and you turn the water on, and the water was brown. And I think we lived there for, I don't know, at least 10 years. And I can remember asking my parents and just being like, why didn't you ever fix up that bar in the basement? It was a pretty nice bar. They liked to entertain. Why didn't you fix up the bar? And then my mom would be like, because your father didn't need a bar. and he wouldn't say anything. He would just be like, and he would just check out of the conversation. But we had that multicolored shag carpeting with no pad under. Oh my God. I don't ever remember a vacuum going down there. Ever. No. Not once. And there was a fireplace down there for some reason, but it was connected to the same chimney as the fireplace above it. And my parents could never really figure out how to do the flues right. So they would build a fire upstairs, and then the smoke would go downstairs into the basement. So it would just smoke out the basement. So that basement always smelled like smoke, flood, spilled fruit punch, food that somebody had forgotten behind a couch, the slot car track, Atari cartridges.
Maybe some blood.
It was disgusting. Yeah, it was so gross. Wood paneling out the yin-yang.
The concrete under the carpet floor is spot on.
Definitely
like the football stadiums, like Cyclone Stadium back in the day, it used to be like that. It was just basically thin carpet on top of concrete.
But like my parents would have people over, and their kids would come over, and we would all go to the basement. There was a door at the top of the stairs that my parents would shut, and we wanted it shut.
Oh yeah,
and they would shut it
off furniture.
Just a universal agreement that the door should be shut to the basement. But I mean, it was just like, I can't even imagine. That place was it was a hellhole and heaven at the same time. That was perfect.
And you would find a way to do some kind of sports activity down the staircase. It could be sliding on a piece of plywood. Right. You'd try different things. And then the one other game I can remember there, much like Hot Wheels for me, that the idea of it was always better than the actual game itself. I was always so excited to play electric football.
Oh, yeah.
But then you'd turn it on, and inevitably some people would some of the players would just start going in circles. And then most frustrating of all, the impossible attempt to pass that little cotton football down the field. Yeah. And then the first person to touch it, it's either a reception or an interception. But that never worked either. And by the end of the game, just all the players are rotating in circles, and it's just a mess, but you just can't stop trying.
Television was a whopping 19 inches, and you had to slap the shit out of it on the side to get it to settle onto a channel or something. But
and it had those big rabbit ears with that dial that you would click, click, click.
Yeah, we had an electrical engineer came over and hooked up the Atari to the back of it. Oh, yeah,
just wire it in.
Wires all over the place. You had to put on channel 3. Oh, man, that sounds like it was a long time ago. Because it was. That's your more, everybody.
Yeah. That was a good shot of nostalgia. Thank you for that. Time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family and authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Andy, North Dakota State football is headed to the Mountain West, so instead of competing for FCS national championships, they'll be competing for FBS conference championships. Is this a good move for the Bison?
I'm not in Bison Nation, so I don't know exactly what the sentiment is like, but it seems like it makes sense to me. I mean, they've dominated this. It's been the one knock on them is that it was, Division I AA or whatever. And clearly they're qualified for this. Not only have they won everything, they put players into the NFL, and they have a great fan base. Go ahead and step up. Mountain West doesn't. That's some travel, but that's nothing compared to, the way that the major conferences look these days. Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes some sense, but I'm going to say that in 10 years, fans are going to wish they didn't make this move because they're used to winning national championships. That has been a blast, and I don't think that they can ever have the money necessary or the recruits moving into that state to compete at the highest levels of FBS. I don't think they can ever get to that level of championship contention. I don't think they're going to be satisfied just occasionally competing for a conference championship when they're used to winning national championships. So I think it is the old, would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond or whatever it is? They're drastically changing this, and I think the fans will not have as much fun.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Murph. Murph, Adam Silver and the NBA have fined the Jazz and Pacers for tanking, but fines aren't going to change behavior.
No.
What should, if any, the punishment be in the NBA for tanking?
Well, they need to pull draft picks or make them slide down a certain amount of spots when they find out what they are in the lottery. Like instead of 5, you are now 8. But the problem here, and it's a significant one, is proving that you're tanking. Like they're going to deny they're tanking, and if they're not playing a starter, they're going to say that starter has a hamstring injury or tweaked his back, and it's really hard to prove this kind of stuff, and it's going to take the kind of leadership that I don't know that Adam Silver has, because I think you need to be a little ruthless to nip this at the bud, and he just doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. But they do need to do something about it. It's a real problem.
Well, I mean, they could consider cutting some games out of the regular season. That might help a little bit, right? Well, I mean, if they really want it, if they're really concerned about this and giving people a better shot at seeing what they actually paid to see, there should be fewer of the games where the team is just biding time until the end of the season. But I don't know. Can they be more? Can they finesse the draft lottery more than they have already? No guarantee that you even get into the lottery. You have to win enough. I don't know what you got to win enough games to get into the lottery, but not too many games to get a bad pick. I don't know what he does here at this point, but I know that this is a problem. If I was a fan, I would be pissed about this kind of thing. It would make me not want to come back.
Right.
If we had one bad experience, we went to see, LeBron, he didn't play at all. He was healthy, or whomever. You go to see, a lot of fans go to see one player, particularly the ones that come from out of town. They want to see one player, and they don't get to see that player. They're not going back.
Yeah, baseball has its issues, and Rob Manfred isn't perfect, but at least he's trying some things to kind of change. Mm-hmm. As you said on Friday, Murph, Adam Silver either needs to do something drastic here or let somebody else take over, and because the NBA is fading.
You can't leave it to the players. They're too rich to care about this. Like they are a little, not all, but generally they're too aloof. They're not motivated by money for all-star games or dunk contests or even winning championships, really. Because, James Harden is about as disloyal as a guy can be, and he says he doesn't have a problem with that, but he's making $40 million this season, James Harden. So what's his motivation to really care about whatever particular team he's on each time?
And so much of the money in that sport is guaranteed. Like the players have really had the owners by the balls for about 20 years here, and so it's gotten out of whack.
Look at Harry's suggestion here. He says it's an easy draft fix. Once mathematically eliminated, you get 1 point for every win, and the team with the most points gets the first pick. Well, the problem is that the best of the worst teams would have the best chance to get the first draft pick,
and schedules aren't equal.
Yeah, the schedules aren't equal. Then that plays into you want parity in the NBA, and one of the best ways to achieve that is to give the teams that need the most help the best draft pick. And if they aren't getting that, then they're going to be bad for a long time, and that'll ultimately hurt everything. But
yeah, there's not a perfect. There
isn't.
But you're gonna have to do something.
You
All
do,
right, Andy,
yeah.
we are nearing record highs this week, and we haven't really had snow since like December. Are you hoping for one more round of snow this winter, or are you good?
Nope, I'm good. I'm done. We get into mid-February, I'm done, especially when we've had a run of weather like this. I don't want to pull the snowblower out again. I mean, honestly, I bring it on at Christmas time, January. Yeah, pour it on. I can do January. Once we've had a good run in February, I am out.
I'm good too. I think we got spoiled this weekend, even today on this holiday for some. Holiday for all, I guess, but holiday for some not to have to work or go to school. It's going to be tough when the cold snap returns because this is, what do you call it, the fake spring?
Yeah, false spring. Yeah.
False spring. Yeah, it's going to be rough to go back to snow.
I would like some snow, though. I mean, if it's going to be in the 20s and 30s, at least give me something pretty to look at.
You know, all you got to do is watch the news and see that. I mean, there are problems with the weather that we've got right now. It's so dry. We've got counties with burn bans all across the state right now. We've got fires popping up, and when it's this dry and you get the kind of wind that we always do at this time of the year, man, you can really, one little spark can turn into a lot of damage. And we need the water in the ground and in the rivers for the growing season coming up.
All right, that's Throwdowns.
By the way, I was walking around with my wife, Jenny. I was walking around the East Village, and we were there, and we saw a guy, and I don't know if he was high or hammered or what the actual influence was or combination, but he was like, yeah, you're the meteorological, you're the meteorological guy. And I said, no, I'm a sports guy, but I can tell you it's a beautiful day. Like
Did
that
you
was
laugh
clever.
at that?
Like, no, you're the meteorological guy.
It's a hard word to say.
No, I'm not. I said, yeah, you are.
Quit arguing with him, Murph.
Didn't you work at 5, 5 to 1? And I said, I did, but that's a long time ago. I mean, it's, we're pushing 40 years. So he's like, I knew there.
That's the last time I was sober.
And you work with my mom. And I won't say his mom's name. And I didn't recognize that. And this just won't end, but I'm kind of curious at this point. So finally, it just hits me, and I say, do you think I'm Brad Edwards? And he goes, that's who you are, Brad Edwards. I said, I'm not Brad Edwards. So this whole conversation, the whole time, he thinks I'm Brad Edwards, who we're about the same age, but we don't look anything alike. But he thought I was Brad Edwards, and he would not accept my sports guy explanation. The meter guy, meteorological.
He had his mind made up. That was his truth, Keith.
I should have left this at speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy, because that's where you leave a reminder of what's bugging you. You can interact. First, you can do this anytime, by the way. Night or day, easy to do. We had a couple of good ones last week. AD does a great job editing it, so thank you for that. And we're on YouTube, on X, which I think might be having problems today, AD. Is that still... Is there still something going on?
It seems like it's off and on. X has kind of been in and out all day, but I think we're okay right now.
Okay, I got a notice about some live streaming problem. Yeah, okay, so email is Murph_Andy@iowaeverywhere.com. It's all powered by Cellular Advantage. And Cellular Advantage is now able to help you with any and all of your U.S. Cellular and T-Mobile needs, all in one store. 35 of them at last count. It may be 40 by now. Who knows? Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD Squared.
Yeah, there we go. It's powered by Game Day Men's Health.
Hey, AD's got a kid on the scene.
Yeah, say hi to Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Game Day Men's Health, Ankeny, West Des Moines, North Liberty, wherever you are, game day near you. Keep up with your kids. Game Day Men's Health. help you with that. Doug Gottlieb not having a great time in Green Bay. In December, he left his daily radio show to focus more on coaching the basketball team there. The team is currently 15-13 on the season, 4th in the Horizon League. They lost to Milwaukee yesterday, and Gottlieb was not happy with the officiating.
I need the league to explain to me why I got a technical foul when I did not curse, I was not demonstrative, I did not leave my box. All I said was, that's the same play as the other end. Okay, and I understand. If you're not calling that, that's fine. You had the exact same play at both ends in the last play of the game. The exact same play. The exact same play. So I need the new commissioner of the Horizon League to explain to me what a technical foul is when I don't leave the box, I don't curse, I'm not demonstrative. Okay, there was nothing that should have been called a technical foul. I know when I earned one. I did not earn one.
Ooh, yeah, he was
trying to convince us that he kept his cool.
He's cruising right along, and he's doing well, and I'm kind of agreeing because I hadn't seen this clip. I'm like, I kind of side with Doug. Then he just loses his mind. He's pounding. He's swearing. You're like,
maybe you deserve
it. You seem like you have a little bit of a flash temper there. That didn't go well. Quickie poll results from WCI Pools and Spas.
Will the Iowa men make the NCAA basketball tournament? I still think yes, says 62%. 25% say was yes, now no. And 13% always been a no.
Most of you still believe.
I still think that.
I still believe, too. Party reminder, the Iowa Everywhere Audience Party coming up February 27th. That is a week from Friday. We're closing in on it. Jenny and I will do happy hour live there at 6:30. Officially opens at 7, but the doors are open before 7 too. If you want to get there early and claim a booth or something, we'll have drink specials from Jim the Liquor King. We got a merch table there from AKC Marketing and IowaEverywhere.com. Grimaldi's Pizza that'll be handed out for free, and the photo booth, which was wildly popular last year, that will return. There's some pretty memorable pictures, some of which we probably should not have shown.
Yeah, photo booth it's one of those things that you go into and you need somebody else. It should be the buddy system. You should have somebody telling you what's too much.
Yeah, you might want to back off here. Yeah. By the way, we're doing happy hour live. We did it late Friday night because I'm hosting the Olympic Zone on WHO 13, and we're on there. And one of the emails that comes in, it's a photo of a nice lady and her husband who had won tickets to Hairball, and she's in a happy hour T-shirt. And Jenny and I are like, where did you get this shirt? This shirt is, cool, and we'd like to have one. And I'm glad I didn't even know those are available. And it turns out they're at iowaeverywhere.com, AD. How did I not know this?
I don't know. Check your messages. No, we are in a bit of a transitional phase with the merch store.
Okay.
We're re-upping. We're getting some new things. We're adding the other shows. And so stay tuned to that. I got kids all over.
Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, what's up? But you're sending, hey, Jenny, but you have like a table of stuff coming next week, right?
We will have a table of stuff, including a couple of exclusive things for the party. We're putting it all together. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a bunch of stuff there.
Well, I know Jenny, the group she works with, they've done a lot of business with AKC Marketing, and you've treated her really well. And we appreciate them having you join us each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So thanks for the flexibility, AKC Marketing. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a Monday. Gosh, if you haven't been outside, go enjoy it if you can. It's beautiful out there. Make it easy to get the show each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by liking and subscribing. We're back Wednesday, and we hope you are too. Thanks for joining us today.